Hi guys, I've been really enjoying using Scott Rao's Filter 2.1 recipe on my La Pavoni to make filter coffee. And it made me think, what else could there be? And I have done some research and found that there is another recipe called the Blooming Espresso, which I really like. I've been using it for a couple of weeks now and I'm quite surprised how different the flavour is. What you end up with is a very sweet shot compared to the normal shot with low acidity. So sweet and low acidity, and it's just very pleasant. If you're having trouble with the coffee, it may be a light roast or maybe a very freshly roasted batch, you might try this and see if you can get a different type of flavour profile out that's more preferable, more to your liking. So the basic technique is to grind finer. So in my makeup grinder, I'm grinding one step finer than usual. So at 14 grams, I grind it one step finer. Then we make sure that we have the group head hotter than usual. I do 5 degrees hotter than usual. So with me, with this 1.3 bar steam boiler, I usually start at something like around 81 degrees Celsius. So for this one, I'm aiming for a group head of about 86 degrees Celsius. And the technique is you pull on the lever hard until you see the first drops. So that pre-infuses, wets the whole puck, and then you just hold the lever where it is for about 30 seconds. Another option is maybe applying a tiny bit of force. I don't know, that's a bit more experimenting to see if that does anything, but that's one suggestion I saw in my research. After the 30 seconds, you finish the shot by just pulling a normal hard shot to finish the rest of it off. And it's definitely worth trying. So let's try one now. So I'll fill the portafilter. I've heard that it's good for light roasts in particular, and the freshly ground roasts, I think the theory there would be you have more time for the carbon dioxide to dissipate rather than staying dissolved in the final coffee, which is what blooming normally does for a filter coffee. Because we don't really want to have that soda water sort of flavour that carbon dioxide has. Alright, I'll zero my scale. So, before I put it in, I want to try and make sure this is at 86 degrees. So, 79. 83. So yeah, we're aiming for about 5 degrees hotter than normal. The reason we want it a little bit hotter is because we're going to fill this puck with hot water and then hold it there for 30 seconds. The puck is colder than what the water will be, so we want the water that sits in there to be at the right temperature, so that's why we have to start a bit hotter. Alright, we're at the right spot. Put that in place. Okay, so we're ready to go. So make sure we've got time for the water to properly fill it. Then we'll pull down fairly hard, and now it's just dripped. So we'll hold it there for 30 seconds. Let's put it on my timer, stopwatch. Obviously you could get a few drops still coming through at this spot. Okay, and that's about 30 seconds. So now we can just finish it off. Okay. So normally with a grind this fine, I would find it really hard to pull a normal shot. It'd be so hard, I'd be worried about breaking something. So even then, it was much easier than that, but it still was a fairly hard push at the end, harder than I normally would push. So here's our shot. I'll give it a stir. We'll see how it went. Yeah, so that's really sweet. This coffee is a Brazilian coffee. It's got very strong sort of raisiny flavours, but they are much stronger now. But it's not acidic, it's just sweet. Anyway, again, it's another thing you can try with this wonderful machine, this flexible La Pavoni. I think it's worth having a shot. At least try it. So 1 step finer on the grinder, 5 degrees hotter when you start. Push until you see some drops, hold for 30 seconds, then push it through. And that's the Blooming Espresso. Enjoy.